Hey guys, my name is X Factor. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to be breaking down bounce nading, specifically with the Impact Nade. There's a ton of great situational nades in Battlefield 1, and Impact is my go-to. What if I told you the Impact Nade didn't blow up on impact on hard surfaces, such as window frames, doors, and buildings, and that can benefit you tremendously. Remember, a lot of my playstyle is based around target prioritization, going after assault that are on your heavy armor, more specifically medics in the field. The last thing you want to do is kill 2 or 3 people and be hit with the revive train. But there's a lot of dirty tricks you could do with Impact Nades. So we're actually in a live server right now because there is no crosshair in empty servers, so might take some enemy fire here. So a lot of times you're going to see that I play Scout. I'm usually using my flare. And this is great because it's going to show you where in buildings people are. If they're on a different level or verticality than you, it's going to be indicated by a hollow square. Doesn't matter if they're prone, crouch walking, crab walking, victory crawling, they're all going to show up. So here's the first one and most obvious. People, when under threat, usually pillar into corners. They hide into corners. So obviously the easiest one is just right there. Now if it hits them, it's going to blow up. Now the Impact Nade is extremely effective when it lands very close. Within 1 or 2 feet, it does massive damage. It doesn't hit as hard, or the splash isn't as big as other grenades, but they absolutely have 0 time to react. Now, something that you're going to see a lot is people pillaring in doorways, okay? So let's say they hit this back angle back here. You don't even have to worry about nailing that perfectly. You can simply strafe over, bounce it out. That's going to nail that back corner, okay? So that's something to always keep in mind. You don't have to Jesus the nade, and you see me do that a lot on live stream where there might be somebody playing a rock over here where I just go to chuck one out, okay? You're hoping it nails them. That'll nail the person behind the rock, okay? So with these bounce nades, it's a little bit more forgiving, and there's also different ways to do it. The ground in Battlefield 1 can absolutely be torn up. You can have holes in the ground everywhere. Now, people like to play that. That's actually decent cover from the snipers and everything else that is spamming at you. So instead of throwing the nade at them directly, bounce it on the ground, and we're going to try to find a spot up here or replicate that. So let's say we've got somebody behind the cover here, and this is going to be a little bit tougher because I'm being shot at now. Instead of trying to throw it over this cover, you can bounce it right over. It'll go about 2 feet in the air, so you actually kill this person behind the sandbags or the cover, so you can actually ground bounce. And of course, if they're behind these rocks or anything in this area, you can ground bounce again. So even on a lip like this, coming up over here, as long as they don't get shot at, you could ground bounce here too. Boom. Right on their head. They're dead. So, as you can see, this is a little bit tougher to do because there are actually people in the server. Alright, so you can do that. You can ground bounce all day, but that's not the only thing that you can do with these nades because verticality is sometimes your biggest enemy. So whenever you're doing something like attacking Fowl's Fortress, you're going to want to be able to cover the verticality. Maybe you dink the guy playing the ramparts or the front. And instead of going chasing that kill, let's get on a higher wall here, you can actually just bounce it straight up. So here's a great spot to do that on because there's an HMG that plays here. You could actually do something like this. Now, if they're already hurt, that should kill them. Or you can bounce it off of this corner. You just got to be able to play your angles. So if they're hurt, if they've got about 30 health or so and they're playing close to this or behind the cover here, you can do that. Another good one is bouncing here, deeper into the corner. So it's one of those things where if you understand the angles, you're absolutely able to play those. And there are no limitations when it comes to the Impact Nades. A lot of times, if somebody's prone here, I'll play that. If they're back here prone, they're absolutely dead because a lot of people like to shoulder peek those walls, like to come up all the way to the wall, get a nice little angle, they take a couple shots, and then they fall back. So this angle would be a little bit tougher because of the way that kicks out, but if somebody's still playing a spot over here, more than likely, you could still get them. Hit this corner, and it bounced straight down, okay? So it's something I wouldn't want to hit here. I'd want to aim for that corner. And these are some of the reasons why that impacts are the nades that I use right now. There's really not a bad situation for them, and they work out in the long run, especially if you're being rushed or if people are in craters or you just need to clear out a medic. It's really important to do that. Remember, target prioritization is everything. If you kill 4 or 5 guys and leave the medic, guess what? They are more than likely coming back up. And there's little your team can do to help because more than likely the numbers are in their favor and they've absolutely wiped you out. So hopefully you guys found this guide helpful, had a little fun in the live server environment, which make this just a little bit more challenging. Ooh, here's a great spot to bipod maybe. Let's see if we can get it, everybody. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and hopefully we'll find one more person to impact nade before we take off. Let's see here. Just saw a guy in the... No, I'm dead. Ah, guy with the nade, though. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hang out. We'll see you guys soon.